Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody, welcome back. I am joined by a great guest here. I'm joined by Holly Agnew. Now, Holly is the owner of Holly's Holistic Health. Welcome to the show, Holly.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
So, it's nice to meet you too. So, other than being in some nice palm trees there, I want to ask how you got involved in helping people through nutrition and eating. I mean, and the psychology of it. How did you go down this path?
Well, I started by working in the medical industry. I worked in a cath lab at a hospital, and I used to be, give me a pill, I'll be good. And then when the pills stopped working, like for, antibiotics and that kind of thing, I looked for natural means. And that brought me to, well, working in the cath lab, I got really overweight as well because we ate really well. That was back in the day when sales reps would bring snacks in. And so I went on a lot of weight loss journeys, all of which ended up with me gaining weight back. So, during my journey, I've had people asking me, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? Different things. And I found out that eating weight is not all about what you put in your mouth. It has a lot to do with what goes on in your head. So when I found out that a lot of the programs weren't working for me, I was like, there's got to be more to this than just food. Yes, food's a huge part of it. Don't get me wrong.
Right, okay.
But the stuff that goes on in your head and how you think about yourself, how you perceive yourself, how you perceive food can all play a big role in how your body reacts to what's going on.
I see. And I think it's perfect for you to come on today because, with the holidays coming up, we could definitely use your expertise. And I think you got some great topics to talk to us about. Now, the first one happens to do, of course, being healthy for the holidays. So let me throw that ball at you and give you the floor here because that's something everyone needs to pay attention to.
Well, did you know that most products that are marketed as healthy aren't always healthy?
I think I'm going to find out why.
Well, if you look at the labels, something might say it's plant-based. So you think plant-based, well, that has to be good, right?
Right.
But it's also one of the newest meaningless marketing terms used to dupe people who know very little about nutrition. And because think about this, these things are plant-based: sugar, vegetable oils, flour, kids' cereals, Jack Daniels, cocaine, heroin, essential oils, all that stuff is plant-based. Are all those good for you? No.
No.
So plant-based
Wow.
is a huge misnomer as far as marketing goes. So you have to be really savvy about what you're getting because the manufacturers are very good at kind of beating around the bush and sucking you into buying their product.
Mm-hmm. But is it like technically they're right, but they just leave something out where it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And think about this. When things are marketed as healthy, if you have yogurts, for example, that are fat-free. So yeah, they're fat-free, but what else do they put in there to make it taste good? Sugar. So sugar is a huge thing. As a matter of fact, I wonder how many people listening have sugar cravings or are addicted to sugar, because sugar, if it says sugar-free, guess what's in it?
Chemicals.
Artificial sweeteners. So artificial sweeteners, think about that. The word artificial, that ought to give it away right there. If it's artificial, I wouldn't think you would want to put it in your body. I know I don't want to put it in mine.
No. But do you think that that's a safe alternative to sugar? Like they're both bad, I assume. But people who drink Diet Cokes, I know there are people that drink like 10 of them a day. Like that can't be good. But what's what's bad about, I know that's artificial, but what's bad about diet soda? Because it doesn't have the sugar, but it's got the other thing.
Well, artificial sweeteners contain potent neurotoxins, and they can contribute to neurodegenerative diseases, migraines, brain fog, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and a host of other
Oh, wow.
nasty health problems.
Wow.
They're actually, and they're not broken down in your body. They are broken down. They're just not used by your body, and they're stored in your fat tissue, so they can come back. They stay there, and they're very hard to get rid of. I mean, you can get rid of them for the most part, but they're very hard to get rid of once they're in your fat tissues.
I see.
So it's best to stay away from it. If you're gonna drink soda, just drink the regular soda.
Yeah. So,
But
in
let's talk about,
moderation, right? Yeah.
yeah. While we're talking about soda, though, let's talk about. Let me tell you a few things about it. So some 7 side effects of sodas. Phosphoric acid. It weakens your bones and rots your teeth.
Oh, God.
Excessive artificial sweeteners make you crave more. Caramel color is made from the chemical caramel. It's purely cosmetic. It doesn't add any flavor, yet it's tainted with carcinogens. Formaldehyde is a carcinogen that's in it. It is not added in the soda, but when you ingest the aspartame, it will break down into 2 amino acids, menthol and formic acid, and formaldehyde.
Wow.
And then there's high fructose corn syrup, which is a concentrated form of sugar derived from corn. It increases body fat, cholesterol, and triglycerides, and it also makes you hungry. And it's also one of those things that hooks you into drinking the diet sodas because you want the sweetness, because high fructose syrup is so much sweeter than sugar.
Wow. And cheap, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's cheap. Yeah, it is. And then potassium benzoate is a preservative that can be broken down to benzene in your body. And if you keep your soda can in the sun, it with the benzene, it equals a carcinogen. And then food dyes, which impair brain function and also cause hyperactivity, difficulty focusing, and lack of impulse control.
Wow. Awesome
So
stuff.
if they labeled the sodas correctly, it would be labeled like cravings, cavities, obesity, diabetes,
Wow.
allergies. So yeah.
Wow. How about, is that the same as juices?
Well, juices, yes and no. You really need to look at the label to make sure what juice you're getting, because it can say juice, but if it says juice drink, it contains like 10% juice.
Got it.
And then again, you have to look at the sugar content, because a lot of juices have added sugar. So it's not just the sugar from the fruit that you're drinking. There's added sugar in there to make it sweeter. So you really have to look at it to make sure you're getting what it says.
Yeah. Wow. So it should just water, be safe, just water, right?
Yeah, water is a good thing because your body's made up a lot of water. So drinking enough water is always really important. But most Americans are dehydrated because they're used to drinking sodas and fruit juices and things like that. So they think that drinking that is going to, and coffee, and
Uh,
that and they think that's going to replace the water that they need. But the caffeine in those drinks also helps to pull the water out of your system, because caffeine is a diuretic.
I see. Okay. So another one to add is dehydration from
Right.
is that only with the drinks that have caffeine, or is that the caffeine free products too?
It's mainly caffeine, because caffeine is the diuretic.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but the decaffeinated ones are just as bad. I mean, they still got the sugar and all the artificial stuff in them. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard if you spill a Coke on your car, it will actually take the paint off your car.
well, I used to work. I used to work in EMS. I was what was called a cardiac rescue technician. And when we had an accident and we had blood on the side of the highway, we would pour soda on it.
Really?
Yeah, to get it to
And we're
just,
drinking this stuff. My God.
yeah. Yeah, and you can also pour soda on your battery terminals on your car to get it to clean them off.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah, it is. Um, so you mentioned before about um, sugar leading to cravings.
Hmm.
I think you were going to teach us how to crush cravings because I know plenty of people, I myself included. You get a craving for some sugar or something like that. That happens. It's a real thing.
Yes. So first of all, you have to rethink how you eat. So, because processed food, think about this: the processed food, the longer the shelf life on the label, the shorter yours becomes. So I've looked at some labels and they're good. The stuff is good for, 10 or 15 years. Not everything, but some of the stuff that's supposed to be made for that. And there's some things that are good for a year, like things that you wouldn't think would be that shelf stable. But when you look at things like bread, for instance, some breads don't mold.
That's scary.
Yeah, so you have to look at that kind of thing. So one thing you want to do to help crush cravings is to drink more water. So water helps to fill you up. It also helps to flush all that stuff out. And if you don't like the taste of it, you can add like juice of lemon or put some kind of fruit in there and let it sit for a while and flavor it. Or you can use essential oils because essential oils are a great way, and they're non-caloric. And there's different ones you can use to flavor the oil. And also you want to load up on proteins and fats. So fats help to fill you up. And again, we're not talking we're talking healthy fats. Now, my version of healthy fats are not the same as everybody else. So like coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, not seed oils. Okay. Seed oils are highly processed, like safflower, sunflower, corn, soybean, all those are highly processed, and they're
Even grape,
not.
even grapeseed.
Grapeseed, I'm not sure of. That's not one I use a lot, but I know the other ones I used to use all the time. All the unsaturated ones, they those are the healthy ones that like the medical establishments push. But I use lard, bacon grease, all the ones that they tell you not to, because if you think, I don't know if you're aware of this, but your brain cells are mostly fat.
I didn't know
So you
that.
have to have the fat. And we have, if you think, look at the prevalence of things, of brain related diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, those kinds of things. There have been studies that have linked them to lack of fat in the diet.
Wow.
So that's something to think about. I mean, and it's the good fats, not the bad fats. The bad fats, which are the mainly the unsaturated ones, the seed oils, they cause inflammation in your body. So you want to stay away from those. The other ones don't.
So coconut is good.
Yeah, coconut oil, and it's unrefined, not refined, because
Okay.
there's a difference there too. And then the next thing is to eat more fiber. So you can get fiber from fruits and vegetables. Um, Sorry, I'm having trouble reading my writing here.
That's okay.
Find. There we are. Sorry.
No problem.
Um, so fiber helps to keep you full by slowing the digestive process, and it releases hormones that tell your body to stop eating because your stomach's full. Not only that, fiber produces short chain fatty acids in your gut, and these further enhance feelings of fullness and satiety. And to top it off, most fiber rich foods also contain other beneficial ingredients like vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And there's really very little downside to increasing your fiber intake. And the best sources are fruits, veggies, oats, lentils, beans, and whole grains.
How about supplements, fiber supplements? Are those uh, okay?
Um, they're they're okay. You can get kind of in a danger zone there because your body can come to rely on those, and you don't want your body to become dependent on the fiber in those. It's better to get it from the
Well,
food that you eat. The thing is, a lot of people that I've dealt with don't like the fruits and vegetables because they've not been exposed to them for whatever reason, or they're just really picky eaters. So what I've tried to do, because I tend to be a picky eater to some extent, is I've tried to add a different vegetable or fruit every week that I haven't tried, and at least try it. And you can Google online, different recipes on how to prepare them. And I found, like, I used to not like cabbage that much, but I found a certain kind of cabbage. It's not the regular head the round head. It's the elongated one. That it's a really sweet one, and you can just put it in a frying pan and put some avocado oil in there and saute it,
that's pretty
and
cool.
it's really good. Just put some salt and pepper on it, and it's good to go. But there's other ways to get fiber than using the supplements.
Okay.
And then next is getting enough sleep. So lack of quality sleep can have many negative effects on your health, including weight gain. The hormones ghrelin and leptin control appetite and hunger cues, and the higher ghrelin levels increase your appetite, while lower leptin levels signal fullness so that you stop eating. And both hormones are affected by how much sleep you get. So getting at least 7 hours of sleep helps these and other hormones work properly, which keeps your appetite suppressed.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you if I could, just to go back for a minute, when you were talking about water, I didn't ask
Mm-hmm.
you, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, what's the magic number? How much should we be drinking? I was heard 8 cups or half body weight. I don't know what it is. What is it?
Well, in general, like 8 cups, but I know people. I'm a big girl, so I'm like 6'2".
Okay.
Now the girl who shared my office when I was teaching PE, she was a little person. She was 3 feet. So is she going to drink 8 ounce glasses of water a day?
Right.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
you know. So somewhere, usually like half your body weight is
That's a good way to
a
go.
good, yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay.
But if you're not drinking any water now, anything that you're drinking more than what you were before is a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're not drinking any, start with drinking half a cup and then increase it as you go, because you do need water. Your body relies on it. If you don't get it, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
It also keeps things running regularly in your body.
So you know what's crazy is like a 200-pound man should be drinking more than like a gallon of
Mm-hmm.
water. That's 64 ounces. So that's a lot of water. But you're right. So that's just a perfect explanation of how we don't get enough water. No,
Yeah.
you think walking around with a gallon, which a lot of people in fitness do that. Um, but that's really not a bad idea, is it? Because I was going to ask you
No.
if we could have too much.
Well, you can, but it would take a lot.
It would take a long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Your body is usually pretty good at getting rid of it, what it doesn't need. But if you drink too much at one time, yeah, you can drink too much.
Okay. But it's a good thing because you said before that it stops cravings and um,
Yeah, it helps you feel full. So if you drink some before you eat, you won't eat as much.
gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. My mom used to tell me, yeah, drinking water is the only way you can clean your organs.
Yep, that's your mom was right.
All right.
Okay, and then another way is to exercise. It helps to control your appetite and food cravings, and research has found that working out, especially before a meal, can suppress the ghrelin and increase leptin. And also, even if you just go for a short walk after you eat, that's also been shown to help um, with digestion.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then the next one is to chew gum. So the simple act of chewing gum can cut cravings and appetite. And doTERRA, the company that I'm with, actually has a, a gum that helps with cravings, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
It combines the chewing act, because just the act of chewing helps to decrease your appetite. But there's also essential oils in there that help with appetite as well.
Hmm.
And then the next one, and this is probably the hardest one, is to slow down when you're eating.
Okay.
So when you're hungry, you tend to eat quickly.
Hmm.
And this is a normal process because everybody does it. But slowing down the pace at which you eat can keep you from overeating and naturally suppress your appetite. And some research even suggests that the speed that you eat can trigger the release or suppression of hunger and satiety hormones. So I know for me, I was trained at a young age to eat very quickly, and all kids are, because if you look at our school system, they have 25 to 30 minutes to eat, and that's including standing in line, getting down to the, doing everything they need to do, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you want to socialize with your friends while you're there. So,
Yeah.
um, and being a teacher, I was right there too. So the whole time I was teaching, I'm trying to, shove my food in and talk with my friends, and you just kind of get used to it. So you really need to concentrate on sitting down and slowing down when you eat.
Okay. So now, how about how to stay to as you put it, break up with sugar?
That's another hard thing to do.
Hmm.
Um, my suggestion is to um, what I did is just cut it out. I just cut it out completely. And that's not always what everybody can do. But say you eat drink one soda a day, try to cut that down to half a soda a day, and just decrease the amount that you eat throughout the day. And it should keep you from wanting it more.
Okay. What about the sugar in fruit? Is that the same, or is that different?
It's still fructose, but it's in a healthier form, so to speak, because there's fiber in there, there's vitamins and minerals and other things that your body's going to need. The sugar, white sugar, is essentially poison. I mean, it's so prevalent in our society, and it's in so many of the things that we eat, that most people don't even realize it's there. Unless you're a label reader, most people don't even know how much sugar is in their food. And you'd be surprised some of the foods that it shows up in, like something you wouldn't think. Like sometimes canned corn has sugar in it. I mean, it's already naturally has sugar in it,
Yeah.
but they add extra sugar.
Wow.
Yeah, so you really need to be a label reader and know the different names of sugar, because sugar has 70 to 80 different names.
Hmm. Like the dextrose and
Yeah.
fructose and all that. Okay.
Yep.
I got you.
Invert sugar, glucose, and some really different names that you wouldn't
I
think.
bet they're long.
Yeah.
Well, Holly Agnew, let me give you the floor here. Great information for us. Thank you so much. Let us know how to get a hold of you, and then I don't know. Excuse me. Give you the floor in case there's anything that you wanted to say to people, have them think about over the holidays, especially. Let me give you the floor, Holly.
Well, first of all, I want everybody to know that cooking from scratch is the single most important thing we can do as a family to improve our health and our general well-being. And also some things about diet and health. First, you want to unlearn that food is the enemy, and think that it really is, food is fuel. Um, Quit thinking of a diet as bad habits, and think in terms of health as having good habits. And a diet is usually something you think of things I'm doing temporarily, where health is things I'm doing forever. So it's not a one-time thing. And as far as diet goes, things I don't like about myself, and as far as health goes, things that I want for myself. And unlearn looking at the scale, and learn about making healthy daily choices. And as most people think of a diet, they think of it as a finish line, and you need to think in terms of health as a lifelong journey. And if people would like to get up with me, my website is www.hollysholistichealth.net, or they can email me at holly@hollysholistichealth.net, or they can call me at 410-430-6791.
All right, Holly. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, and can't wait to hear what you have to say next. And everybody else, we'll be right back. Stay right there. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.